is all my brain and body need. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. It's very good indeed. Keep your silly ways, or throw them out the window. The wisdom of your ways, I've been there and I know lots of other ways. What a jolly bad show, if all you ever do is business you don't like. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Sex and drugs and rock and roll is very good indeed. Every bit of clothing ought to make you pretty. You can cut the clothing, grey is such a pity. I should wear the clothing of Mr. Walter Mitty. See my tailor, he's called Simon, I know it's going to fit. It's a little bit of advice, you're quite welcome, it is free. Don't do nothing that is cut price, you know what they'll make you be. They will try their tricky device, trap you with the orderly. Get your teeth into a small slice, the cake of liberty. Drugs and rock and roll. Sex and 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 drugs and rock and roll.
First time I ever heard of Ian Dury was when I was in high school. One of the first bands I ever was in with my friend Harry Crow, and the drummer was Jim Goodman. Nice guy and a really good drummer. And he used to come up and he'd start singing that sex and drugs and rock and roll. And I was like, what the hell are you singing? Oh, Ian Dury. And he told me it was punk rock. So for years, I always thought it was this, punk rock, like, the Clash or the Ramones or the Sex Pistols. Not that I knew much about that sort of music at the time, but for years, I just always thought that this Ian Dury song was going to be this heavy, nasty sounding song. When I finally heard it, many years later, I was like, oh, it's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. But doing this song, I'm not quite sure why. Well, there's a kind of a longer story as to why I did this one, but it reminded me the first time I heard "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick," I was just fascinated by the song. I'd never heard anything like it before. The bass line was great, and I just loved I loved the lyrics. I loved everything about the song, and I can't remember what happened. I think we went down to the city. I was looking for a copy of it. I couldn't find a copy of it. This is in maybe the later 80s, maybe 87, something like that, 88. And I don't know I think I went down to like the Village to see if I could find a copy. I guess we found a copy. And my sister, years later, found the old 45 and put it in a little frame for me. That's a 45 copy of "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick" by and it says demonstration, not for sale. Where the hell did I get that? Maybe she bought it for me. I can't remember, but I can't believe I was able to find this so quickly. That's pretty neat. I never even looked at that. For demonstration, not for sale. Cool. I can maybe have it reframed. But well, what else did I want to say? I still talk to my friend Harry. After high school, Harry and I played in a bunch of bands after that, and I still talk to him all the time. And we got talking a couple weeks ago, or I don't know, a week or two ago, and he asked me a strange question, which was not like him. Well, I think we were talking about different bands we were in and laughing. And he said, if you could go back to any period in time, meaning, musical period, when would it be? And the answer came pretty quick. It would be that first band with Harry and Jim Goodman, because we were, all we did was play Rush and Ozzy stuff and cool stuff. And we used to play in his parents' backyard. They had a storage trailer, it's little, and we could barely fit in it. And in the wintertime, we had a kerosene heater in there. I'm sure that did us some damage, but I really enjoyed that whole period. Not sure why he was good. Jimmy was a great guy, really, really good drummer. One of the best drummers I ever played with. So that's that. All right.